Hello there and happy February 2020 and welcome to a Drama Mask Evolution Arts and Crafts channel. Just in case people are wondering what this channel is all about. Right, we're going to some questions and answers and we'll have a couple of questions for this month. And the first question is from somebody who commented on, I think, one of the resin casting videos, asking like, why do I prime my resin casts? Well, the reason for that is because you get a nice cohesion for the paint that you put on top. So I use acrylic paints, but I use automotive spray paint to prime the resin cast. So I think the last video we did was casting this Polycraft SG2000 resin. I mean, some of these casts have got a bit of a rough texture, so I might get away with putting the acrylic on straight, but I probably will prime it because you know that the paint's going to stick and it's not going to scrape off after you've primed it. So that's the answer to that question. If I'm doing concrete casts, painting concrete casts, sometimes I prime the concrete with spray paint, like primer spray paint or primer paint. But sometimes I'll just put a couple of washes of acrylic paint down first of all, just to get a nice undercoat painting consistency. But in all cases I'll seal it with some sealer at the end, or lacquer, and there's a few videos on the channel with the stuff that I prefer to use. But a lot of these things are an evolving process, so we learn about new materials and more appropriate and better materials for certain jobs. So I might do something one way at one moment, but then later on change what I'm doing. And of course, using different materials, you'll want different materials to go with those materials. Right, there's another comment on the female mechanical figure, which we made up last year sometime, and I'm going to get around to painting this at some point. But I did say in the video that the model leans back a little bit too much, but somebody did complain saying, well, the model goes back too far, why didn't you paint inside the cockpit before assembling the parts? Well, the answer to the first question is, if I make a cock-up, then I'll put it up as a video, so to show other people the potential cock-ups that other people might make. So I don't want other people to make the same cock-ups or mistakes that I've made. So I think it might be helpful to people to see that I've made this particular mistake here with the model leaning back too far, and then that should, well, hopefully, in my mind, it would help other people to make their models, this particular model, where it doesn't lean back too far. So there we are. So I mean, the other people on, there's lots of other people that are more appreciative of when you show these things, but of course you always get the odd one, don't you? But we don't worry about those people. And luckily there's only a few people like that anyway. But anyway, yeah, and as to like this cockpit, it's going to be easy enough to paint inside anyway, so I assembled this cockpit. I mean, you can paint the cockpit before you assemble the model if you want to, but I can get my brush inside there to paint this particular model. And also the female pilot isn't glued in place as of yet, but I'm quite looking forward to painting this model up at some point, so we will. And I'll probably use acrylic paints for this also, although I might use some model, like proper model paints, but we'll see when we get around to doing that. So while we're on the subject of painting resin and models, and as some of you might know, we did the resin casting video last week or the week before, and there are some other videos of casting resin, but we will do some painting these casts. So a while back, I think I did mention this on some older videos, I bought this like wooden, I can't remember what they're called now, Natsuki figure. So that's made from wood, and made a mould and casted it with resin and the various types of resin. This one needs to be cleaned up, but we will get around to paint some of these figures. So you can see the original there, resin cast, and there's some kind of half finished paint jobs here. Well, that's finished. That's like a kind of metallic dry brushed kind of thing, sort of dark washes, which is quite nice. A bit dusty, and a kind of sort of wooden, red wood kind of look. And these are kind of half finished. You got a green and blue thingy there. But we'll do some videos and go into a little bit more detail, and perhaps do some more refined resin cast painting. So anyway, I think that's all for now. I'm sure when I turn the video off, I'll think of something else. I did write a list of things to do. I'm always losing my list, so I need to write a list for lists. Oh, another thing with painting your resin and priming, what I tend to do is put the primer on the day before I'm going to actually paint the object. And that's the same goes for if I'm using acrylic to say paint on concrete. I'll put a couple of coats on the first day, let that totally dry for 24 hours, and then proceed with putting in your colours and finishing touches. Because otherwise, the brush, if you apply your paint too early onto your undercoats and primer, you 9 times out of 10 you're going to take that layer of paint off, and you're just going over and over, and it's just a waste of time, and you just take that paint off. So like I say, wait 24 hours, and once that's fully dried, cured, solid, you'll have no problems with applying your layers of paint. So anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.